Now, it's been a hard week for all public sector workers, with their pensions under the microscope of Lord Hutton's report to the cabinet of millionaires. And the police have had a harder week than most, with pay, pensions, perks and conditions all being scrutinised, on top of the 20% cuts they've already been hit with. Well, at least that's what Sean Dilley thinks. Let's hear him.
I will never underestimate the importance of the job that you do. I simply want to say thank you.
And that's the voice of Home Secretary Theresa May talking at the Police Federation conference last year. This is the voice of Theresa May talking about the police last week. See if you can spot the difference.
We are reforming the police service in a whole variety of ways. Obviously, we have to look at police pay terms and conditions as part of the reforms that we're introducing.
The Police Federation, who represent rank and file officers, are not happy bunnies, as you can imagine. Here's Paul McKeever.
When the Home Office are coming out saying that police officers don't deserve their pay, we feel appallingly let down by that.
Earlier this week, two separate reports into police pay, pensions and conditions were released.
It is necessary to reform and abolish some of those allowances.
Well, that's the voice of the former rail regulator, Tom Windsor. He says back office police staff should face a £3,000 a year pay cut. Those doing shift work would see a slight increase, but overtime budgets would be slashed dramatically.
People need to understand that the current final salary schemes involve a perverse cross-subsidy from the low paid to the high paid.
And him, well, that's Lord Hutton, John Hutton. You might remember his name. He was Tony Blair's former Defence Secretary, and he suggests all public sector pensions are unsustainable. But in a scene reminiscent of Dad's Army, he thinks that police officers should work through till they're 60 years of age. 3Q Paul McKeever, chair of the Police Federation of England and Wales.
They're asking police officers to take cuts in excess of 20% in their pay packet. That's real hardship. We are expected to pay an unfair share.
So we hit the streets to find out whether you think the police should be treated as a special case.
They're not paid enough. We don't get final salary pensions.
The police are no different from anybody else.
I don't think anyone should be treated like they are being at the moment. And yeah, the police are right to object.
These are, of course, just recommendations, and the government can completely ignore them. But if John Hutton and Tom Windsor get their way, Dixon of Dock Green would still be on the beat today.
I'll see you next week. Head up.
The policeman's friend, Sean Dilley, TalkSport's political correspondent. They've always got a friend in you, Shawnee. Now, what do you think about that paean of praise to the work of our police? Here's what I've got to say. My estimation is that 75 to 80% of police officers voted Tory in the last election. Well, they ain't laughing now. But when the demonstrations come against the cuts that are being opposed against the rest of us, I do hope that Dixon of Dock Green sees it our way. Do you get my drift?